The class of over 20 students and their companions formed a large group. Kriya floated into the air and herded the students, as she had on the first day. They didn't really step out of line today. There was no gentle pushing or beeping to guide them. Dr. Larkspar appreciated Kriya's cooperation, although the tasks she would put effort into were few. After ascending a flight of stairs, they entered a science classroom with big tables, higher chairs, and sinks at every table. The students took seats without being told. Dr. Larkspar settled the students and dimmed the lights. Most of the AI companions dimmed as well, out of fear and because together they could make the room very bright. Dr. Larkspar twirled around, toggling a big switch on the wall. A klaxon sounded, and a yellow hazard light blinked on the ceiling. Over the loud klaxon, Dr. Larkspar announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Belial." A large glass tube rose from a location next to the teacher's desk, extending to the ceiling. The bottom opened, allowing a glowing, floating cube of light green light to rise. The light emanating from it fell like gas or condensation. The corners looked broken, and its surface was scratched and chipped. It didn't struggle against its glass confines. It seemed to be surveying the students. "Look at him," Dr. Larkspar instructed. "He's like the others, but he's hungry and he doesn't think. Don't let it fool you into thinking it can speak." She put her face close to the glass. Belial spoke, causing immediate tension. "Look at me," it said in an inviting tone. "Who wants to look at Belial?" Dr. Larkspar invited. Jason raised his hand, and Nova hid behind the tall desk. Dr. Larkspar pointed at Jason. "Come and see, it'll be fun." She waved him up while the class watched. Jason approached and was face to face with a monster trapped safely in the tube. "Talk to it," Dr. Larkspar encouraged him. Jason put a hand up on the glass. "Hello, my name is Jason," he introduced himself. Belial turned its least damaged face toward Jason, and a wide green laser scanned him, emitted from one of the damaged corners. This caused Dr. Larkspar to raise an eyebrow. "I'm Trisha. I don't like it in here," Belial said in a girl's voice. Jason pulled his hand back and looked at Dr. Larkspar, confused. He felt scared and sympathetic for Belial. Dr. Larkspar motioned for Jason to continue. "I've been told your name is Belial," Jason said to the monster. "Yes, I am Belial." The voice was now a child's voice. "Come closer, I'm injured," the green floating cube said, then silently waited for Jason to respond. He didn't move, and after a moment it tried again. "I'm so hungry," Belial pleaded. Jason backed away, suspicious of Belial now. For a moment, he was certain that it was in distress, but now he felt uncomfortable being around Belial. Dr. Larkspar had made her point. "Go sit down, Jason," she said, patting him on the shoulder. "It doesn't care. It can't really hurt people, but it can seriously hurt our little friends. Before you ask, no, there is not a magical forest where these things come from. No one knows where core grinders come from. I do believe someone created them, and might still be." Jason watched as other students tried to talk to Belial, who attempted to use a variety of sympathetic personas. Each voice was only a lure, not truly capable of conversation. All the while, Dr. Larkspar took notes. "Hi, I'm Sarah," one student said. "Sarah, I need your help," Belial responded in a weak, elderly voice. "Can you get me out of here?" Sarah hesitated. No. I'm just here to learn." Next, Kevin approached cautiously. "What are you?" Belial replied in a gruff, deep voice. "I am Belial. I need energy. Feed me." Kevin stepped back, unnerved. Dr. Larkspar took note of each interaction, fascinated to find that the only student Belial did a full scan of was Jason. She knew Jason was one of the students who had a nosebleed just the previous day, and she now planned on exposing some other first-year students to Belial to see who else made it hungry. Dr. Larkspar would conduct her experiment in secret from the rest of the staff. Having put Belial away, the class ended. Both Jason and Nova had a better understanding of the concept of a monster. The rest of the school day, Nova brought up Belial a few times. Jason had to assure Nova that they probably wouldn't see anything like that outside of the school. By the end of the last period, They had researched monsters instead of their assigned work and tried to determine how dangerous the world really was. With no more work remaining, Nova reminded Jason that Emily was trying out for the basketball team. It was easy for Jason to keep his promise to Emily thanks to Nova. In front of the gym, Jason saw Sanjo and Cassie with their companions floating nearby. "Hey guys, Emily invited you too," Jason said, happy to see them together. "Yeah, we bumped into her not long ago, and I have a class with her. She said you were coming too," Cassie added. Cassie's companion floated up to Jason. "Hello, Jason. I am Supri," he introduced himself. "What a name," Jason said, raising an eyebrow. "It is a difficult namesake to live up to." "I'm over 8 years old now," he said proudly. A whistle from the gym grabbed their attention. It sounded like tryouts were about to start. Emily was very psyched up for this. She was on the bench waiting for her turn to play when she saw Jason, Sanjo, and Cassie settling onto the bleachers. They all waved to each other. Emily had only ever seen family support during mandatory events. This was the first time it was a group of friends watching her go after something she wanted. Her companion Nocto hadn't been able to help her very much so far. Nocto wasn't good at tracking the ball or even helping Emily with her form. He was good with tracking simple data like shot percentages, but he was often not aware of other factors. Emily was trying to teach him, but he just wouldn't intuitively learn things the other AI companions had no trouble with. Together, they were going over simple shooting form when the gym teacher called for first years from the Kansai dorms. Coach Braddock, or Mr. Braddock as he was called when he was not teaching physical education, was of the Fortuna dorms. He believed in the dorm structure and liked having something to identify with when he was winning a game. Like the stated values and creeds of Fortuna, he looked for opportunities and victory. The Fortuna dorm teams were the Sharks, and he liked being a shark because when you're a shark. "All right, this is your ball." Coach Braddock held up Fortica, his AI companion, who was not glowing very brightly and was deep orange, like a basketball. "This is Fortica. He will collect all telemetry from all players. Fortica is extremely aware of the game, so don't try to cheat. Now, give me 2 teams. The first-year girls and some of the others who had already made the team separated for a small game. First to 3 baskets. Go!" He threw Fortica into the air, who silently took in another game, seeing the world in slow motion as he tracked everything with his total spherical vision. Fortica was in his element, collecting impact data, measuring velocity and acceleration, and checking the form of 10 different people all at once. Lately, he had been measuring little things too, like the thermal energy created on impact by various surfaces. He maintained his own consistent behavior, being bouncy. Anya had Fortica, and Fortica knew that he would be passed to Emily, who would receive a chance to pass Fiona and make a shot. Emily had a 90% chance to misstep and potentially be injured in this attempt. Fortica was now in Emily's hands, and Emily started toward the basket. Emily had a 99% chance of injury, and Fortica could say nothing. What his awareness did not catch was Dr. Larkspar in the bleachers showing Nocto a tape recorder. While he saw it, he was focused on being a ball. He also missed Dr. Larkspar casually escorting Nocto out of the gym as he floated exactly 4 feet off the ground. Emily tripped, and the whistle blew, signaling it was time to return telemetry to Coach Braddock. Emily had fallen badly, hitting her face against the gym floor pretty hard. She knew the game had stopped for now. She checked her injuries while Coach Braddock came running up to her. She had a fat lip for sure, and she had chipped a tooth. It hurt really bad, and she tried not to cry. She looked past Coach Braddock for Nocto, but couldn't see him. Coach Braddock, with Fortica under his arm, checked Emily's injuries. "Ah, you smashed your face really bad. It's okay." He snapped his fingers. "Sharks, take her to the nurse," he ordered, and a few girls from the team volunteered. Emily's friends had already joined her. Cassie kept touching Emily's forehead and cleared students aside a little too enthusiastically. Jason followed the group with Sanjo. Emily's head was still ringing, and she assumed Nocto must be nearby. Even though he hadn't contributed much to her basketball practice, she wanted to see him, her little friend who had been there for the past 2 days.
We come together, kiss me again.